Yes, hello.
Hey John, how you doing? It's Detective Harris, New Jersey State Police.
Okay, hi.
Good. Are you available for a quick interview over the
Interview
phone?
regarding what?
Regarding your statements today.
Which statements?
I'm guessing you called and you left a voicemail at the Ocean County at the Ocean County Sheriff's Office.
Uh, I, I guess. No, not the Ocean County Sheriff's Office. If you want to ask me questions, just ask me the questions. I'll answer them.
Okay. Listen. Any reason why you made those statements toward Judge Rahill and I guess her the court secretary?
I didn't make any statements that were threats.
No, you didn't, but you did make alarming statements.
Okay, I just will say one thing. This is part of a protest of the government, and I am not threatening them with anything that any action I am not allowed to take, as I have made clear multiple times to Judge Rahill and to the other person who called you. I'm assuming I have never threatened anybody with physical violence. I did not threaten people with physical violence this time. And if they don't like my language, they can interpret my language other ways, but that doesn't necessarily mean I am threatening anything.
Yeah. What's up, Ray? Yeah. Which one is that? I really don't know. I'm trying to make contact with her. I'm on the phone with that other guy that from the earlier job. Yeah, it was real incoherent. I didn't know what she was trying to say. She was rambling on, to be honest with you. Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. Later. Hello?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah, so I understand that you're using constitutional rights, and I have no problem with that. I'm just here to be a mediator to find out, is there a way that we can resolve this issue so that you don't have to be in contact with them?
I'm. How about this? Then nobody has never told me not to contact them anymore. If you're telling me not to contact them anymore, I won't contact them anymore. I have no reason to contact them anymore. I said what I needed to say. I have a right to tell the judge the things that I said. She never once told me not to contact her. The court has been deliberately unresponsive to me on multiple occasions, and only responds to me when I go and exercise my First Amendment rights and push the issue.
Yeah.
So you're asking me how this situation could be ended, and I don't think you're calling me to make me feel better, but I'm going to take you at your word that you're trying to make me feel better. I feel I am a victim of violent anti-Semitism in Ocean County, New Jersey, and the Ocean County, all the people involved in Ocean County are covering that up. And I have done everything I can. I have reached out to the government. I have talked to as many people as I could. I just want, I'm a victim of something, of a cover-up of something nobody should have to live through. And yet, no matter how I try to talk to the people in the state of New Jersey, whether it's nice or whether it's with language that's protected by the First Amendment, but causes people distress, or however you want to put it, I don't think it should. I feel like the judge is trying to twist my words here, but I know you're saying you're just trying to be a mediator. I don't want to have to live with what the civil rights violations that people have put me through. So I don't know how else I can relay that, because honestly, this is the nicest, most respectful conversation I've had with anybody in regards to this matter. And it came about by me having to say something that got somebody to actually call me back. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I totally understand what you're saying. So basically, I'm the one that's tasked with, threats against judiciary and judges. So this came across my desk today.
Okay.
So, I heard that, I guess they served you with a a restraining order for, I guess, your inability to be able to purchase firearms in the state of New Jersey. Is that correct?
I was served that today without. I was served that in a way that I believe violates my due process. But yes, that is what happened.
Okay. So yeah, and then I guess you called this lady. I forget what's her last name again?
Erin Caulfield.
Yep, you called Erin Caulfield.
Yeah, and I left a message that didn't threaten anything.
Yeah. So let me explain. So, most people probably wouldn't feel that threatened, but with what's going on in our climate, especially what happened last year with the federal judge's son being shot and killed, when people hear these things and they see like a picture of you posted, a firearm.
That's not a firearm.
Huh?
That's not a firearm.
It's
not a firearm. And the LAPD would be able to confirm that's not a firearm.
Okay, so that picture that you posted, that's not a picture of a shotgun?
It's a picture of a prop that the LAPD has already investigated. And that I tried to share with the judge, but she didn't want to hear it.
Alright, so either way, just let me explain it to you. So people see that, right? You know that's a prop. But the person on the other side of the email does not know that it's a problem.
I told that in court. I explained that in court records. So it's not my fault the court didn't read everything I sent them.
And listen, I totally understand that, and that's why I'm just trying to tell you where a lot of these people are coming from.
No, look. I am a victim of things you wouldn't imagine that directly relates to what you're calling me about today. I have experienced people actually bringing weapons and holding them up against me. So I understand where you're coming from, and I'm trying to do my best to assert my First Amendment rights while allaying your concerns at the same time.
All right, so can you just answer a couple questions for me?
Yes, I will to the best of my ability answer your questions.
All right, cool, no problem, thank you. When was the last time you were in the state of New Jersey?
The last time I was in the state of New Jersey was probably 2017.
Okay. Another question for you. Well, it's not even a question, it's a statement. So here's how I'm going to put this to you. If you want to contact the courthouse because you feel like your case hasn't been heard or whatever the case may be, that's your right. You can do that. However, I would say just be careful with the language that you put in those statements so that on the other end that people receive them do not feel threatened by you. Because it's okay to be like, I disagree, or this has happened to me. There's a lot of ways to get your statement across without making people feel threatened. You know what I'm saying?
But there's a certain line where them feeling threatened is of their own doing. You understand what I'm saying?
I agree with that, but just so if just say for instance you're on the other end of this conversation and you're a worker at a courthouse and somebody says, hey, there's a lot of school shootings going on, just paraphrasing that, too bad, or whatever the case may be, you guys couldn't be, one of the victims or whatever. How would that make you feel?
I don't know if you're correctly paraphrasing, but I understand where you're coming from. And in all honesty, given what I've been through, I probably wouldn't feel anything. I wouldn't feel scared or angry.
Okay.
But you're asking me personally. So you're asking me personally.
Yeah.
At the same time, I turn on the news, so we could have an hour-long conversation about statistically things aren't as bad as the news actually depicts them. So we could have this big conversation about people's perceptions that I don't think you're trying to have with me here. But I'm trying to answer honestly in terms of my own perspective. And if you want me to acknowledge that I understand a lot of people are ruled by maybe ruled isn't the right word, but are a function of their fears. You brought up, you see all these things on the news, this guy shot a judge's kid last year. You told me, right? I didn't do that. So even though my words have multiple connotations, and I have explained to these people what my connotations mean in spite of what the world makes them think the connotations can mean. I don't know if that makes sense. You could keep asking questions. I'll do my best not to go off on a tangent.
No, that was it. Listen, I just want to touch base with you and just find out, exactly what was going on and everything to try to see if I could mediate and squash this whole situation, because obviously, you have something going on with them. And this is the second time that I'm actually investigating a case for you. I had one back in November where I guess you were in the Zoom call and you had, I guess you had said nothing threatening, but you did make a comment, and they were, a bit worried about the communication with you guys. So again, I've never spoken to you personally.
I understand, and I'm sorry to cut you off. I appreciate you telling me that, because I was in a trial. I was part of a trial where people were investigating me, and they used this as evidence against me, but didn't tell me it was happening. So there was no way for me to mount a defense if I don't know the evidence against me. So I appreciate you telling me that. You don't have in front of you exactly what I said. I mean, I'm sure it's in the transcript, but
no, I don't. Again, it was non-threatening. Again,
okay.
It was kind of like, I'll do everything in my power to make sure I get justice, or I'm able to do my First Amendment right, which again is not a crime.
Okay, so, I just want to explain to you to alleviate because you have been. I've dealt with numerous law enforcement officials with this issue, both just on the offensive. Like I called the court. You'll find I called the New Jersey State Troopers. I called multiple law enforcement agencies today after I spoke to the court. Where was I going with this? So these people are accusing me of making threats of violence, and I'm a writer, okay? So I just want you to understand that I will be the only thing I have ever threatened is the exercising of my First Amendment rights. And I don't know if this conversation makes you feel any better or any worse, but I don't deal with the way people. You will find no history of me dealing with people the way people have wronged me with violence or acts of violence. Okay. I'm losing my train of thought. I'm sorry. I'm also as respectable as you've been. I'm also nervous, so it's making it a little harder for me to.
Yeah, that's okay. And again, I'm not gonna hold you too long, because we deal with this stuff all day long, and we have a lot of work on our plate. Really, I just want to touch base and make sure that you were okay. Number one, and number two, you didn't want to harm anybody or yourself.
I don't. The absurdity of what my involvement in this court is. I have never wanted to harm another person, and I don't want to harm myself. Nothing would make me feel. Nothing. As hard as it is to live with my issues that I've succumbed to because of my experiences in Ocean County, it would be harder for me to live with wronging or harming a person. Like the whole issue I have is that the situation I've been put through, even with this court, has robbed me of my ability to live my life, and I would never want to do that to another person.
I totally understand. So, listen, John, I appreciate you taking time out to speak to me. Do you have a driver's license in California or ID or anything like that?
Yeah.
Would you be okay with sending me a picture of that or no?
Why?
Because whenever I speak to somebody, I have to take a report and I have to fill out their pedigree information. So I guess you have an old New Jersey driver's license information, and I've got your California license.
And I'm respectfully asking you, there's nothing more to it than that you're hiding from me?
No.
Okay, then I have no problem sending it to you.
Yeah, you can just text it over to me. Listen, man, I've talked to you real respectful, and you can tell my tone. I never raised my voice to you. I just want to get to the bottom of it and find out what was going on, and try to mediate and watch the situation as much as possible. That's it.
Okay, I have no problem with you doing that. I appreciate you being forthcoming about it.
All right. Yeah. So when you can, just send that over to me so I can police report, and I'm just gonna write up that what we talked about and send it over, and just close this case out. All right.
Okay. And I'm sending it to this phone number you called me on.
Yep. My name is Detective Harrison, New Jersey State Police.
Harrison, New Jersey State Police. Okay. Once again, I'm gonna assume you're not in Ocean County, so Yeah, I can. There's differences between how I'm assuming you're probably from like North Jersey, right?
Not from about the central North area.
Like Princeton.
Around there, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. And once again, I just want to say, you sound like the right person to be making this phone call. So.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it, and I appreciate you taking the time out to speak to me. All right.
Okay. Have a good day, and I'll send that to you right when I hang up the phone.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye.